I'm Chris from Aussie Destinations Unknown. This is our full-time tourer. Let's check it out. 4 years traveling on the road full time. We've had 3 Silverados since then, which is pretty funny. Our first one we started off was a 2019 Silverado 2500 HD. Back then when I built it, I didn't know much about them. I actually knew nothing about them. It was a little bit of a frightening thing going into that. With a bit of homework and some good help around us, the truck turned out amazing. We loved it. We jumped into a 2022 model, which was wow. We built this thing with off-road creative, big dog builds, a massive group of people. And we thought, wow, we've just built the ultimate tourer. Come now, 2024 model GMSV Silverado HD, I think we've made a banger of a truck. So I'll just show you around it, mate. First thing we need to talk about is the elephant in the room, the actual color of it. If you know us, you know we've had 2 black trucks. Well, it's fair to say I'm not going to get another black truck. We've gone now, GMSV really pushed us to jump into the new color. So this is the new slate gray. So this is new for the MY24s. And man, I'm stoked. I was a little nervous about it at the start, but when I saw it, I was blown away. So no more black trucks, no more nightmare trying to keep it clean and look after it with scratches and watermarks and hard water and all that type of stuff. First thing we probably want to talk about is suspension, so let's dive into that. So 2019 HD truck that we first built, we had a 5-inch super lift kit in it, which I wasn't raving too much about. Next truck, the 2022 one, we put a BDS lift kit in and wow, I was literally blown away. So it was a no-brainer to run a 6.5-inch lift, high clearance BDS lift kit in this one again. As far as I'm concerned, the best in the business. Their componentry is A-grade, the way they've designed it, everything about it, your little high clearance cross members, everything about it is amazing. This time we did something a lot different. We used to run King shocks. This time we're trying out the Fox Performance Elites with the dual speed compression adjusters, and wow man, I'm literally blown away. So dual speed compression, you've got your high speed and your low speed. So on low speed compression, it's where you're doing those big G outs and the shock absorbers moving a little slower. Your high speed compression is all your corrugation, all that. So they're valved pretty good. We took it to the boys at Mike's Shock Shop. They valved it even better, got it super close. And then the dual speed adjusters, we've just been able to fine tune that to the T. We've obviously coupled that with the BDS control arms and we've color coded them so they look pretty cool. They're in slate gray as well. We've tied that in with the heavy duty tie rod ends, which will just hold everything that little bit stronger. You know, we're putting big tires and wheels on these cars. There's that little bit more stress on things, especially in corrugation. So just to beef it up that little bit more, just makes it a little bit better, I think. So we'll jump around the back and have a look there. While we jump around the back, I just wanted to touch on the geometry with the 6.5-inch lift. Nothing changes, geometry is identical, and we've kept the factory torsion bars in there. I think it works great. Adjust those shock absorbers a little bit to counteract a bit of porpoising with the van on the back, and it works to a T, but around the back. Okay, we're in the rear end of the truck now. Obviously you can see we've kept the leaf spring rear end. Again, I don't have a problem with these. I think leaf spring works amazing. They're designed to handle a lot of load and they work really cool. The only thing we've done is Spring Master at Brendale, reworked it. We put an extra couple of leaves in there and just made them that little bit extra heavy duty. I tell you what, these boys are like wizards. I don't know how they've done it. We all know if you design something to be heavy and carry a lot of weight, generally it becomes a lot more rigid. These things, I don't know how they've done it. They've absolutely nailed it yet again, the same thing that they did on my 2022 model. And again, the Fox Factory Elite shock absorbers, these are a 2.5 inch. That's what I forgot to mention on the front as well. They're a 2.5 inch with a remote reservoir. Remote reservoir is designed to carry that little bit more oil to keep things nice and cool. We all know that shock absorbers, once the oil gets too hot, overheats, they basically just don't work anymore. And shock absorbers, if they don't work, that's when the car becomes unsafe. So we all just want to be safe on the road. And again, Boss airbags this time. Don't really need it. The guys, like I said, with the leaf springs nailed it, but just a little bit of a helper when we got the van on, when we're fully loaded with all water and stuff. absolute no-brainer. But that is about it on the rear end for the suspension. Pretty simple. We did have the BDS traction bars on there, but unfortunately the side steps were hitting them, which was a bit of a bummer. They were just rubbing on them and making a bit of noise. So bummer, we had to take them off. I'm a bit frustrated at that, but anyway, it is what it is. So we'll work that out eventually and yeah, change things up a little bit. But anyway, we'll jump around to wheels and tires and show you all that part as well. Wheels and tires. This was a nervous one. So obviously with the slate grey, it's something new to me, and my entire life I've run black wheels. Check this out, machined wheels. I was very, 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 very nervous. I'll be honest with that. But when I saw these things on the truck, I was like blown away. So this is the Method race wheel, 605 NV. This is a 20x10 neg 24 offset. Method race wheels, no more to say. There's just nothing like lighter, stronger, faster, best wheels in the business, hands down. Race heritage, the materials they use, the design factors, everything about them, no brainer. Strongest wheel on the market. And obviously we've coupled that with the Yokohama this time. So this is the Yokohama Geolander G003 MT. I'm stoked with it. It's a 37 13.5, the 2022 model. I had a 12.5 tyre and I always had a bit of an issue with it. Just didn't feel like it was fat enough. That extra inch fatter on a 37 just makes it look so much more balanced and perfect. The other cool thing about these Yokohamas, they're a 127 load rating. So that's, I think from memory, that's about 1,750 kilo load rating per corner. So well and truly over our load rating for this truck. And obviously a little bit of flash news here. Apex tire deflators. Wow. Check these out. These are a high flow. Literally, I can dump these to about 30 PSI and back up to the running pressures of 65 PSI in about 2 minutes, mate. These things are insane. I'll put a little link in the description. Check these things out. They're pretty cool. So, oh, and if you didn't notice, little black lug nuts just to customize it that little bit more. So you can get these from Race Wheels Australia. Let's talk about the front bar now. Off-road creative, yet again, nailed it. I think these guys do the raddest bar in the industry. They look really cool. The boys know how to design and style things really well, and obviously functionality of it too. Awesome. So it's a full aluminium bar. They're running a steel cradle for your winch in here. Then they've relocated all the sensors for your parking sensors, relocated the front camera. This truck has 14 cameras around it all, so they definitely need to relocate all that so it all works fine. How cool is it? Like seriously, it looks insane. Underneath we have a 15,000 pound Scout carbon winch. Man, these are a workhorse. Last year I used it countless times rescuing people in WA. They've just been insane. So this is why we put another carbon one in there. Let's talk about lights, hey, because there's a fair few of them on here. American truck deserves American lights. Whoa, Baja Designs. If you don't know Baja Designs, you need to look them up. They are insane. Again, race heritage in the off-road racing scene. Absolutely huge. They're killing it in the industry. The three on the top, these are the LP9s. These are ridiculously cool. You've got the Racer in the middle, which is a full spotlight, and then you've got the Pros either side of that. Now they're in a driving and a spot combination. So this will give us obviously a full spot way in the distance. This will give us spot and then spread it just that little bit more to make it insane. And obviously the entire front end is in amber. Yes, I was a little nervous about that as well. These are huge changes that we've done to this truck, but whoa, blown away with how well the amber light works. It's just so much less stressful when you're driving at night. Everyone knows a good set of spotlights. As soon as you get to a road sign or a reflector or something, it bounces back in your face. These don't do that. They're insane. I'm literally hooked on the amber lights at the moment. In the center of the bar, we have the S8 30-inch. Another, again, Baja Designs, wicked light bars. This is in a driving and a spot combo as well. So you can see we have your little driving sections here, and then we have your spots, which are the LEDs in the middle. Again, freaking awesome lights. They're insane. And obviously here we have the squadrons. So these are in a wide cornering, so these will spread your light around the side of the car just a lot more. Again, Baja Designs, check out their website. They have some really cool information about their zone. So each light is designed for a particular zone. And with this truck, we've tried to fulfill all those zones and make the lighting just perfect on there. One thing I did notice when all these lights are on is you don't distinctively see each section and like a darker spot in the middle. It all just blends amazing. So the science behind the lights and how Baja Designs have designed them is mind-blowing. Oh, while we're here, we'll talk about ARB, so that's an air outlet for the compressors. We'll talk about the compressors afterwards, but we have one on the front here and then we have one on the back. One thing I forgot to mention about Baja lights is if amber's not your thing, you want to go back to clear lenses, simply just remove the lenses and replace them with clears, or go from clears back to amber. So that's a really cool feature of these lights. Let's talk about lights on the roof rack. So these, again, Baja Design. So these are an XL linkable in a sport. So this is actually a combination of your spot, your driving and your wide cornering all in one. So this will just, it gives a beautiful little bit of light, and just that little bit of white mixed in with the amber just makes it perfect as well. Side lighting on a Tourer is very important. Baja Designs, these are the S8 in the little 10-inch. So these are a combination of the spread and the spot as well. So it gives us even lighting out the sides. We have two this side and we have two on the other side. And obviously, come on, they're mounted to, I would say, the best looking and functional roof rack hands down on the market. This is a Big Dog Builds ADU edition roof rack, and it looks freaking trick, especially when we've got the tray at the front. Normally we run trays on the top. This time we opted out for that, so we have functionality for the sunroof and just to be able to position the boat and stuff if we need to. But yeah, let's move back. A canopy on the back of the truck, especially on the back of a Tourer, is the #1 thing. Off-Road Creative, they're at the top of their game. We've worked with them. We've used our knowledge over the years, and we think we've come up with the perfect combination for us to suit our needs. Let's go through it. This canopy is a little special, by the way. This is build number 100 by Off-Road Creative. Pretty cool, hey? Building a canopy for a Tourer, it's a bit of a tough one. You don't want it to look so disconnected from the styling of the car. Off-Road Creative, with the way they style the canopies, hands down, they're the best on the market. Color-wise, that's a tough one. We wanted to keep the slate grey colour in this canopy as much as we can. As a rule of thumb, when you're colour coding a canopy to the rest of the truck, you normally do your doors and that type of stuff. This time, we've gone with all slate grey and just a couple little black touches, wheel arch and ladder and all that. We think it's freaking cool. We just slate grey everywhere on this truck. Let's go inside it. Driver's side first, we'll talk about that. This generally, as a rule of thumb for us, is our storage side. So up the top here, we have a large storage section. This carries our tables, our chairs, ladders, all the general type of stuff that we use day to day that we can access in and out pretty easily. Up the top there, another storage section, but that's stuff that I don't use all the time. So we got our wetsuits, dive gear, radios. I put the batteries for the boat. I put the Garmin up there, the sounder, all that type of stuff. So this is a general storage section. Now we move over to this section. So this is a different section that we ran to our last canopy as well. This is another massive storage section, but for higher stuff. So in there, we have our dive gear in the large bag. We have our chainsaw. I normally have ladders and stuff in there as well. This is a really important part for us. I'll just keep emphasizing the storage part, and having places that you can get to easily and get out easily is super important. This side, this is a new feature to us. Obviously, we have a boat now. We have a 376 Mako craft that sits on the top with the Off-Road Creative boat loader, which I'll show you afterwards. But this is where the outboard sits. This is really cool. I need to show you this. This is the motor slide as well. Again, from Off-Road Creative, so check it out. We don't have the motor on here. We don't have the boat on there because it's sitting on the trailer back at our camp spot. We're at Dundee Beach on the western side of Darwin, and we've been fishing every day. So I'm sorry, I'll do a separate video on the actual boat and motor itself, but let's talk about this right now. So this is the Off-Road Creative motor slide. They've designed this themselves, so they basically have everything in-house. They don't need to outsource for motor slides and boat racks and all that type of stuff. So this is a simple 20 horsepower Tohatsu, fits in here beautifully. Just sit it up on here, tilt it up like that, and push it in, and then just lock it in with your pins. It's that simple, works a treat. And another thing I'm gonna show you down here, you might need to get a different angle on it. Okay, so right down the very back down there, you can see where you got a little notch, a little hole. So this is for the tiller on the outboard. We can't have it sitting up because we don't have enough height in there. Back down there on the kitchen side, there is still a drawer sitting in there. So Off-Road Creative have utilised every little bit of spare space and used it to our advantage for storage. Storage side, yet again, Off-Road Creative. Look how cool this is, just those little slate grey touches with 2 packing. Man, them boys know how to style stuff. The 2 drawers here. General tools, this generally houses all my Makita tools, race tapes, tyre repair kits, chains for this chainsaw, all that type of general stuff. Then we come over this side. This is something that we have on all our setups. We do a lot of filming, a lot of content. This is a purpose-built charging drawer. This houses everything, our Makita batteries, our drones, our GoPros, jump starters, everything. It's got basically a 12 plug-in power bank in here, which is permanently on, always keeping our stuff all nice and charged. Let's talk about the 12-volt system. 12-volt systems, again, touring setup, you need to have a massive, well, not a massive, a good, reliable 12-volt system. Same as what we did in our previous truck. So we have all Enerdrive gear. We have one 400 amp lithium slimline battery that's up tucked in behind the fridge, utilizing that space yet again. Here we have twin DC to DC chargers, so these are the 40 plus chargers. So generally, as a rule of thumb, they pump in about 45 amps per unit while we're driving through the alternator. We have a separate MPPT solar controller for the 190 watt Enerdrive solar panel up on the roof. And then the inverter side, we have a 3000 watt inverter and a 100 amp AC charger built into one unit. This is a wicked system, all running through the Marine switching system, which is on the other side, which I'll show you afterwards. And obviously, yet again, Off-Road Creative utilising the space very carefully, very functional. It's all in the headboard. In the headboard as well, behind all this, you've got your water pumps. You've basically got all your fillers. You've got everything that can be tucked away, but it's not tucked under the truck to be in all the elements. So tucked in really neatly here. We have a cool little switch. We have a little clear panel, which Off-Road Creative, just those little touches yet again. We have some GPOs here. We have our fuse breakers here, and then we have here, this is the isolator switch for the winch for up on the boat loader. So I think we'll go to the kitchen side. Moving on from the electrical system, we're on the passenger side of the Canopy now, which is the kitchen side. This is our switching. This up here is our Marine. So this will tell us our state of charge, our charge coming in or flow coming in, our usage coming out from all our appliances and charging, all that type of stuff. It also has senders for our water tank, and it has switching as well. So this is switching to turn your fridge on and off, your lights, all your basic sort of functions, your accessories, your GPOs, your USBs, all that type of stuff. And here we have the inverter switch. So this turns our inverter on and off and enables us to switch it on for the AC charger too. We have shore power on the back of the Canopy, which I'll show you afterwards. Okay, fridge side. This is the Dometic NRX 130 litre fridge. So our previous Canopy had a 110. We've stepped it up to the 130 litre fridge. Really freaking cool fridge, beautiful, massive inside. As you can see, it's for all Merriam's kombucha. I have no beer in here. Actually, I got some sheepdog. If you haven't tried this, peanut butter whiskey, damn good. Yeah, basic sort of thing. We have a little freezer up the top as well. So we'll start from the top and work our way back down. The top, this large section here, this is for a large cooker. So this is a Breville 3-in-1 cooker. So essentially it's a microwave, an air fryer, and a convection oven all in one. Really cool. The previous truck, I think we had the 10-in-1 or the 11-in-1, but one thing we did realize after we installed it, that it actually didn't have a microwave function. So when we go out for a few nights at a time in just the truck, Miriam likes to pre-cook and a simple little nuke it in the microwave, and we didn't have that function. So we've gone with this one, and it actually works really cool. We have a little section in here too, a little storage section. Again, utilizing all that little bit of space to make it more functional. Over here, we have our Dometic. So these are 20 litre and 10 litre little storage bags. Really cool, man. We put all our food in here and it goes right back into there, and when you're not using them, they just collapse into nothing. Up the top, right at the top there, we have stuff that we don't use too much at all, so pretty easy. Over here, storage, and again, storage over this side. Actually, what I need to show you, you want to come over this side, I've got to show you what's in this drawer. Okay, so this is a continuation from when I was talking about the motor on the other side. when you've got the drawer closed, they've got a sectioned off little area here that enables the tiller to be tucked away in there nice and neat. So again, you're not wiping out an entire drawer. You've still got a whole section here for storage and general kitchen type of stuff, which is really cool. And yes, little touches yet again, slate grey, build number 100. When it comes to the canopy lighting, we've gone something a little different to the conventional type strip lighting. Again, Baja design, so we've gone with a little Baja design dome lights. So we have ambers, and then we also have whites as well to mix it up a little bit. So just cool, nice and simple, nice and neat, and we can turn them on individually as we need to. While we're talking about lights, we're going to talk about the rock lights under here. We have some little Baja dome lights. So these are basically just an amber. They're not an RGB type one. They're just a little amber light just to give us that little bit of ambiance, would you say? Okay, so to finish off the kitchen section, we have our table and cooking right here. So we have a large pull-out benches here. You can see it's massive, and then we have another section which comes out. So this houses our little sink, so this will just pop down. And over here, we have the new Dometic induction cooker. This is probably the best induction cooker I've ever seen, and the reason why, all the other cookers that we've had, when you put a fry pan on there, they hit each other and you can't get them exactly centered on the elements. They've made this cooker that little bit larger so you can center the pans on there and they cook really cool. So I'm stoked, absolutely stoked with the Dometic cooker. All right, again, storage down the bottom. Again, at the back we have the smaller drop-down box. And then at the front, we have a really big drop-down box as well. So this houses recovery gear, and then the other one is basically all my hoses and my water connectors and all that type of stuff. While we're talking about the boxes on that side, obviously driver's side as well, same thing, no different to the other side. Again, we have more storage here. And in the back box, we got something a little bit different. Check this out. Here we go. 400C via air compressors. Previous truck, we only had 2 compressors, and I think they were only about 300 Cs. It used to take us, from memory, I think about 40 minutes from a low sand pressure all the way back up, and that's with all 8 tyres, the tyres on the truck and the tyres on the van. This is going to make it so much quicker. I think we air up probably, I don't know, up to 5 times, 6 times in certain areas that we're driving in. So if you times that by 40 minutes, man, it's a lot of time. So having 4 compressors has made it so much quicker, and obviously, like I showed you before, we have the inlet on the front bar, and then we have an inlet on the rear of the canopy as well, so I'll show you those as well. Let's jump over to the rear of the canopy. Okay, so I'll give you a breakdown of the entire rear of the canopy itself. Obviously, twin spares. The reason why I carry twin spares, and I get asked this a little bit, is why are you going to carry twin spares, is because these tyres, a 37 13.5 and a 20-inch, can be a little bit hard to get, so having twin spares, I don't know, it's just a no-brainer for me. Off-road creative ladder, so this folds down as well. We have the relocated cameras again, so the rear of the Chevys have 2 cameras, one up there, and then we have one down here. Up the top, either side of the ladder, we have the Baja, so these are the S1s in a work scene light, so it spreads the light really nice and even. We go underneath here, we have an inlet and an outlet for our 12-volt system. So inlet enables us to charge through the AC charger, and then an outlet enables us to use power through a lead or something. Okay, the bit back here, large trundle drawer. So this houses basically all my tools, my fixings, basically everything. This is essentially like my little garage that carries all my tools. Down here we have twin Anderson plugs for the DC-DC chargers in the caravan. Here again, Off-Road Creative, they're relocated, all the standard features that were on the car. So these are the GM accessory camera inlets. Here we have our air inlet, or outlet, sorry, that I explained before with the compressor. Okay, over this side, we have a water outlet. So this is through a 12-volt pump. And then over this side, we just have a little gravity-fed one as well. So if I want to wash my hands and all that, without having to turn the pump on and all that general type of stuff. I'm pretty sure that's about it on the rear. Again, Off-Road Creative, all the factory parking sensors have been relocated into the canopy as well. And obviously over this side, we have the Gen Y hitch. Been using these for years, absolutely love them. This is a 7-ton with a 900 kilo ball weight hitch with a 6 drop. The reason I have 6 drop is we can put the caravan or the boat hitch on there. I can have the step on there. I can carry my bike rack, all that type of stuff without having to basically remove everything. So pretty easy. And then we have our stone stomper as well. which I love. The caravan doesn't get slaughtered. And then we have manual inflation points for the airbags as well. So that's about it. Okay, like I said before, Off-Road Creative like to have everything in-house. Let's talk about the boat loader. Really cool, very, very simple, very, very light setup and fully adjustable. All these different mounts here are able to move in and out, these ones, and this one is able to move in and out and backwards and forwards. So that basically enables you to have whatever size boat you want up on the roof. Up the top there, it's running off a 3,000 pound carbon winch, just a little tiny winch through that isolator that I showed you before. So again, really cool little feature. Love it. Absolutely love a Maker Craft boat. Again, I will do a separate video on the boat and the outboard itself in a couple of weeks or something, but righto, let's jump onto the awning. So on hot summer days like this, winter days in Darwin, you need some shade. We've got it right here. We've got the Clever Shade 270 Deluxe awning. Super lightweight, super easy to use, and super slim line. Look at that, pretty cool. A big tourer like this, towing a big caravan, needs to be able to hold some fuel. Underneath, we have a 210 litre Titan long-range tank. On the side here, we have side steps. So these are the new amped XL side steps. So as you can see there, they're tucked away in a nice little, basically like a carcass type thing. Protects the sills from rocks and all that type of stuff. And it tucks down just that little bit lower as well, which is really cool. Miriam needs that. So moving right into the cab itself, these Chev Silverados come with all the creature comforts, all the tech that we ever need. A couple of things that we need, obviously comms. Number one, no brainer for a touring setup. I'm blown away at the amount of people who don't have comms. It's essential for emergencies and to communicate with people, trucks, wide loads, all that type of stuff. GME XRS, no brainer, best radios on the market by far. And navigation. So this is basically set up for our offline mapping. So we use the Garmin Overlander. Absolutely wicked. We can set waypoints. We can explore in places that we're basically exploring. We can set waypoints. We can set latitude. We can set longitude. Did I just say explore twice? Exploring. Yeah, no brainer. Cool thing about the Overlander too is it's basically like a little iPad. We can remove it and take it inside and do basically some pre-planning trips. It's all on a charging dock right there, and that charging dock is mounted to basically a ram mount, so it bolts to the seat bracket itself. One more thing before we jump out of the cab is our switching system. This is by a company called S-Pod. Again, another awesome American company. I don't know too much about it. I'm not too tech savvy when it comes to this part. All I know is it switches all my lights on and off, my air compressors, basically all my accessories, all on a nice little digital touch screen above the mirror here. And we also have the app as well, so I can do the exact same features on my phones. Okay, this is it. This is our 2024 Silverado HD Tourer. We love it, suits us to a T. We want to give a huge thank you to everyone involved. We can't name everyone, there's literally too many people, but what I can tell you is to build a tour like this is a mammoth effort, and from the bottom of our hearts, guys, you all know who you are. Thank you so much. Here we go, I'm getting a little emotional about it. Thank you so much. Yeah, you guys have enabled us to do what we do. It's amazing. If you want to know more about the Chevs themselves, we have a video of the media release of the 2024 or the MY24 HDs, and we also have a couple of handover videos as well, pointing out all the standard features that come with these trucks. Please, if you like the video, please hit the like button. Any questions, any comments, please leave a comment below. And if you like the content, please subscribe. It goes a long way, it really does. Yeah, just thank you to everyone involved. Let's go have some fun touring.